Hey everybody, Kache Man here with another episode of Caching with Kache Man. I'm in an interesting trail here today where there are a number of caches, including the fourth oldest cache in Colorado, which is called the Kleaver Karl cache. It's a couple of miles up this trail, and we're going to be following this nice little creek here. Well, I've arrived close to ground zero. I say close because it still says 20 feet away. And look, it's a nice big pile of rocks. Many a cacher's nemesis when it comes to finding caches, especially one as small as this one. But I did finally find it, and I'm standing right by it. Here, take a look. There it is. Well, that cache was an Altoid tin. It was listed as a small. I think it's kind of a large micro Altoid tins. That was actually the third cache I've looked for along this trail so far today. The first two are DNFs. Next one is a couple of tenths of a mile farther down the trail. Or since I'm actually going downstream, so it's down the trail. Well, the hint says base of an old tree. That's a big old tree, and there's the base, but the cache is over here in this little cubby hole. I'm glad there's not a cache up there, but this tree would be really interesting to climb. You could go way up there. Looks like it's another small or large micro somewhere, I think, by this big rock. There's a big cubby hole. Maybe it's behind this smaller one. There it is, another camoed Altoids tin, looks like. My GPS led me up the trail, or up off the trail a little bit. Lots of rocks to look under, but this one turned out to be pretty easy to spot. Let's open this one and see what's inside. There's been lots of finds on this cache. I wonder how old it is. Let's see. First find was 2012. I'll put my stamp in here, and we'll put it all back together. Well, I'm on my way to the next cache, and it's not all that far from the Kleaver Karl cache, that fourth oldest cache in Colorado. I mean, my glasses are getting fogged up. It's really humid out here today. It is really quiet out here today. I hear an occasional jet fly over way up high, occasional bird chirp or a squirrel chatter, and of course the stream down below. There's not even a wisp of wind out here today. I really like that word, wisp. You can see up ahead why you definitely need something more than a regular car to come down this road. Some four-wheelers would no doubt like to try going through here. And there is a reasonable way around that obstacle. And there's also a geocache right here somewhere. You know, there's a million places you could hide a small cache right here. Well, not a million, maybe 100. But I didn't manage to spot it, and the funny thing about it is, as I read the description, it says it's one of these. And this is definitely not a small, this is a micro, but that's alright, still a good cache, and I found it. I came up the road from that way, and I'm now about 300 feet from the Kleaver Karl cache, which, as I said before, is the 4th oldest geocache in Colorado. It is off trail a bit, so we're heading this way now. Big rock formation here. Still 200 feet away, so it's past that. I enjoy these hiking caches out in the woods, up in the mountains. These are the same kind I like to hide. If you found any of my trail mix caches, most of them are not unlike this one. Of course, they're not nearly as old as this. Being about 20 years old, this cache. 120 feet to go. I peeked at the hint. It says it's in a large green shrub. So it was large 20 years ago. It's probably larger now. Oh, look what I found. Let me get that out and we'll see what's inside. Don't find a cache this big very often. Pretty clean inside. Here's the logbook. Rubber duck. I like to put rubber ducks in caches. Some stickers for the kids. Somebody's lanyard. Let's take a look at the logbook. See if this is the original one. It's in really good shape. Maybe this isn't the original container, but it could be. So this is not the original logbook. The first signature is from 2004, which is still, what, almost, yeah, 17 years old. This is back in the days when people wrote lots of stuff in logs about their adventure here. Yeah, page after page of paragraphs of people writing stuff. 2008, 2009. Well, let's find the first blank page and I'll put my stamp on it. Up to 2017 now. Let's see when the last finder signed the log. It was July 10th of 2021. I need to put my stamp there. And I don't usually, I'm going to write a thing or two in this log. I can find my pen. Today is September 3rd. Nice bucket cache. Really like this one. This was well worth the hike to come out to get it. Probably a bit more than 2 miles of a hike to get here. And of course I have to hike 2 miles back. I have now found the 4 oldest caches in Colorado. And of the top 10, I might have found just one other. They are of course scattered across the state, so they're not always convenient. And some of those old caches like this one require quite a bit of effort to get to. But that makes them even more rewarding. And it's fun to find such an old cache. 38 feet from where I'm standing is another Altoids tin. In this rock formation, this cache is halfway between Kleaver Karl cache and the Miller Rock cache. Having found the Kleaver Karl cache first, I'm heading towards Miller Rock, but of course I have to stop here. Well, I thought to myself, where would I have a cache? Well, of course it would be up on top of that rock formation. And here's a nice little hidey hole for it. was fascinated by these trees that grow out of the rock. How much dirt can there be from them? The shortest distance to this next cache is from where I am, is about 1/10 of a mile, and it's still off trail. Sometimes the off trail routes can be challenging with bushwhacking and such. The Middle Rock Cache is a ford terrain, so it's probably way up there. If there's a relatively easy way up, I will take it. It's up there somewhere. I'm going to skip the Middle Rock Cache. It looks a little too tricky for me by myself. If I had one of my monkey cacher friends with me, I would be inclined to go for it. So this breadcrumbs cache is hidden by a cacher who likes to leave caches along their hiking route to other caches. They probably put this one on the way to Miller Rock or Kleaver Karl's cache. It's called breadcrumbs, and it's could be in here. Yeah, nice little film canister. The next cache is a cache hidden by the #1 cacher in the world in terms of finds. Mondo U2 has found over 200,000 caches and he's also hidden over 1,000. Well over 1,000. I think I have found 1,000 of his caches. He's based in Colorado, but he travels all around looking for caches, and this next one is one of his. Let's go find it. In fact, a couple of weeks ago I found about 30 of his caches in one day. It was a little power trail out by the Denver airport. Mondo was not fooling around with this one. Nothing like finding an ammo can in the woods. This one is heavy. Let's see what's inside. A real large logbook. Spider-Man. Guy on a motorcycle. A little pony. Little squishy baseball. This is Mondo's trademark whistle. He puts these in a lot of caches. I wonder how many of these whistles he's bought over the years. This is one of Mondo's NAT series, N-A-T, Native American tribes. He's hidden over 700 of those, and they're scattered all about Colorado. A lot of them on the eastern plains, some up here in the mountains like this. And this is one of them. So thanks, Mondo, for hiding this cache, and I look forward to finding more. I found more of your caches than any other caches. Well over 1,000 of them. So keep it up. Never know where you're going to find a Mondo cache. This is another one of those breadcrumbs caches. It's pointing right at this stump, so it's probably in the stump. Oop, hey, there it is, just laying on the ground here. Well, I'll take a look at it, sign the log, and figure out a good place to place it back. Here's just a nice view back into the woods. Nice pine forest, and we're getting a little breeze now. The weather quite improved during this hike, so that the sun actually came out for a while, so I wasn't concerned about getting rained on too much. But it's been a good hike. Found a bunch of caches. Actually had a couple of DNFs, and I skipped a couple that were too far off trail. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Caching with Cacherman, as I record this right by the Saint Vrain Creek down below, which you can see behind me. Tune in again next time. Who knows where I'll be? Somewhere down some trail, no doubt. Maybe up in the mountains in a cool spot like this. See you next time. Take care, everybody. So long.